What's up everybody, it's Frank here for Yogomi, and in this video I'm going to be talking about Indika. This is a game that I got sent to me before it came out, and it took me some time to get a chance to play it, but I finally got to play it. I actually streamed it live on my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/Yogomi. I really was interested in this game when I first heard about it. I wrote about it on my website, yogomi.com, when I got the press release, and instantly I became pretty interested in it. There are some surprises in this game that I did not expect, and it's really a very interesting and just atmospheric, very, immersive game. I like these kind of games. When it comes to like third-person games, one of my favorite type of games is the action adventure, but I also love action adventure mixed with like some puzzle solving. Games like Uncharted, it comes to mind. I love Uncharted. Uncharted is one of my favorite franchises of all time. I will replay those games anytime until the end of time. I just really enjoy those games, but in those games, as well as the sort of cinematic and theater storytelling aspect, there's also this other side of a lot of puzzle solving, and you have to solve these puzzles in order to progress through the game. This is not something I expected to find in Indika. Indika was developed by the studio Odd Meter, and they have a bit of a story, which I'll get into a little bit later, but I think their story does correlate with this game and the story of this game. It was published by 11-Bit Studios, and it uses the Unreal Engine, which is one of the first things I noticed was how beautiful the game was. Now, I will say this, as soon as I started playing it, I noticed something that was really different. When I started the game out, I noticed this 16-bit environment, and it kind of threw me off for a second because I had written about the game and I posted about it, but I deliberately avoided like looking at the game and trying to find out more about it because I really wanted to play the game and be surprised. I knew enough about it that I wanted to play it, but I wanted to be completely and totally surprised. I didn't want to know anything about the story. What it says about Indika on their website is you play in a third-person environment in a story-driven game set in alternative Russia of the late 19th century, where religious visions clash with harsh reality. And Indika tells the story of a young nun who sets off on a journey of self-discovery with the most unusual companion by her side, the devil himself. A not-so-ordinary nun. On the outside, Indika seems to be a typical nun, attempting to adjust to a difficult and monotonous monastery life. Humble and innocent in her appearance, do not be deceived, as this young girl has also made a highly unlikely acquaintance, because in the game, she actually speaks with the devil himself. It also puts Russia in what it calls a distorted mirror. Indika's unusual connection with the evil one leads her on an errand beyond the safe walls of the monastery. The world she discovers can only be described as a wild combination of comedy and tragedy, straight out of the novels by Dostoevsky and Bulgakov. It says Odd Meter is a small independent studio formerly based in Moscow. That's very important, formerly based in Moscow and now operating out of Kazakhstan. What I really loved about the game is it had a lot of the elements that I really do like. Again, puzzle solving, third-person cinematic adventure storytelling. As it says, nothing is all that it seems in this game. So you go into this game and you kind of have a little bit of knowledge of what the premise is, but as you play the game, you start to see things a little bit differently. And there's also some things that are revealed to you that make you start to ask questions yourself. One of the things I noticed about the animation of the main character were the details, and not just in the graphics, but the little mannerisms and just human characteristics of this character. You could see them in her eyes when she's just standing there and when she moves around and things she does with her hands and how she moves. It's very noticeable and it's very impressive in my opinion. As I started to play through the game, I started to see these little screens that would come up that, again, they kind of threw me off. It's very interesting how they took a 16-bit environment as far as like how you tallied up your points, and even as far as the story itself. It jumps back and forth between these worlds, but the stories do mesh together. They do work together. They're supposed to work together. And they do rely on each other to make sense. There's the story that you're in, and then there's a backstory. And most of the backstory is in this 16-bit world. I don't want to give too much away, but it is very cool how they did it. The environments that you move around are very, very good looking. The cutscenes are very well designed. I think the voice acting is very well done. It's very clear that they had English voice actors come in and do the dialogue for this, but it sounds really good. It looks really good. There were parts of the game, even as I was playing it, I felt sort of the chill. The setting is like 19th century Russia, where there's snow everywhere on the ground, ice everywhere, and as you play it, just the sounds and everything, you kind of feel the chill of being in this cold, just almost dead environment. It turns out that there's a war going on, so that plays a part in some of the storytelling. Also, you find out some things about the character and why she is on this trip. The thing about this game is, I think it's incredibly symbolic. I think there's more to this game than just solving puzzles, and I have my idea of what I think it symbolizes. As far as the animation, again, I think there was some really great animation. There were some things that sort of took me out, and I think these are things that I've seen them do these kind of things in other games where they fix certain animations. For example, there's a scene where it shows people walking upstairs. And one of the things I have noticed in other games is they will set the animation for a character and they will make an animation specifically of a person walking upstairs. In this game, I did notice that it looked like instead of creating the animation of a person walking upstairs, it was just the animation of the person walking, and then they moved the person upstairs. And it had kind of an unnatural look. The problem with that, with me, is that, you know, I tend to pay attention to these type of details when I'm in these games, especially when I become completely immersed. And something like that I noticed, it sort of takes me out a little bit. I can forget about it, but not enough for me not to talk about it in this review. I think these are things that some of the studios should take a little bit note of. I feel like this little thing of just animating somebody walking up the stairs instead of taking the character walking normal and then moving them up the stairs, that kind of thing, it's a small detail. It's not really a big deal, but I think it's something that I think can be fixed, easy remedy. But other than that, I really enjoyed the puzzle solving. There's some puzzles in this game that really took me by surprise. And the good thing about it is that I streamed the entire game live to my community, and they got to chime in and solve the puzzles, which was a lot of fun. A few puzzles that I thought were really cool and I really liked, but there was one puzzle that really blew my mind. And we were kind of stuck on it for a while mainly because of what we were seeing on the screen. There are some things that do become revealed in certain puzzles. And I think we were so caught up in this, this reveal that it took us a while to solve the puzzle. And again, I love stuff like this. I could play games like this all day long. If I can make a living playing nothing but these types of games, I totally would. So if there's any studios out there that want to send me more games like this, send them on, because I will definitely stream them. All in all, I think the game was really, really great. It's not that long. It was probably a total of maybe 5 or 6 hours total. I think once you figure out the puzzles, I think maybe you can get through it in 6 hours. I think I streamed it over 3 different streams, but this wasn't playing the game entirely through the entire stream. There's always some talking and chatting with the community, and then we start playing. So I want to say the game was probably 5 to 6 hours, maybe total, which is kind of not bad because I don't know how long you would want to linger in this sort of dark and cold and somewhat evil environment. But that being said, I would definitely play this game again, maybe even play through it again. Now, I haven't played through it again to see if there's any changes. I haven't checked to see, but I did find out that once you finish the game, you can go back and play each of the levels. They're all there for you to select and choose, including the 16-bit levels, which again, are connected to the story as a whole. A little bit about the studio Oddmeter. I read on Polygon that they had to actually leave Russia to finish the game. Their beliefs and how they felt about how things were happening in Russia and globally actually made it to where they probably can't even return back to the country, which is crazy when you think about it. But they believed so much in this game and getting it done that they left the country to get it done. And I implore you to go check out the article in Polygon so you can read about it. I'll put a link to that in the info below. But overall, I think you should check out this game. If you're really into like adventure, atmospheric, especially third person, adventure, story-driven games, if you're looking for something different, this is the game for you. I think puzzle solving is very fun. It's a good game that you could just sit down and play. And again, it doesn't take very long. I will tell you that there are a lot of religious tones in this, a lot of religious tones, a lot of war. Again, this is an alternate timeline in 19th century Russia. So nothing that's happening is considered to be real, but I do believe that there is some symbolism behind it. And by the end of the game, once I saw the ending, which you will see when you finish, it's very, very apparent at the ending. It's definitely noticeable how the end of the game is different. And at the end of the game, I felt like I figured out what the symbolism means. I feel like I have my version of what I think that symbolism is. So I implore you to play it. It's called Indika by Odd Meter, and it was published by 11-Bit Studios. It's a very cool, I liked it. Very fun game. And I enjoyed streaming it so much. And the cool thing about it is as I was streaming it, even my community that was watching it, they were like, man, we really like this game. A friend of mine even reached out to me outside of the stream and asked when I was going to stream it again because they really wanted to see the conclusion of the game. I believe it's a game that you could really sit down and stream all the way through or play all the way through. If you're a streamer, this is definitely something that you could stream in one stream. I only do 3-hour streams, so that's why I broke it up across 3 different streams. And again, a lot of that was me talking with my community and chatting for a bit. But I definitely think you should check this game out. And big shout out to Odd Meter for sending me the game ahead of time and giving me the opportunity to play it and stream it. So that's it for me in this video. I will be back a lot more often with more videos where I'm going to be talking about games and other things, but mostly games. Also, don't forget, I have a movies channel where I moved all of the movie talk over to Yogomi Movies. So check that out. I have a couple of videos up there right now and more are coming soon. So again, thank you for watching. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel because I am going to be putting up more content. I'm really going to try and put some effort into growing this channel as well as 3 other channels, but I'm going to be really coming up with a lot more content for the channel. So please subscribe to the channel. If you like or dislike it, let me know. Leave your comments. And I'm usually really good about getting back with people in the comments too. So also, I have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Yogomi. So come by there. I stream just about every week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.